Hey, it's Dr. Pat here looking at a problem of how to do a graph of a piecewise function in WAMAP. Okay, so what I've got here is a piecewise function and I want to make this graph. We have 5 buttons here to play with. Now, just let's talk about really quickly what these buttons mean. So this first button right here would mean make a line using 2 points that would go on forever. So this line would go on forever both sides. Then this next button here would be making a line that's connecting 2 points, but it only makes the line between the 2 points. And then the third button that we have here would be make a line starting at 1 point that goes out in one direction from it. All right, so not both directions like the first button, but in only one direction. And then we have the include button and then the exclude button at the end of of a segment. Okay, so that's what we want to do. And now I want to get to my function here. And so my first formula here in this piecewise function is y equals -3 for x is less than or equal to -1. That means I'm starting at -1, going to the left, and I'm going to be at a y value of -3, excuse me. So I'm going to use this third button, and I'm going to start here at -1 for my x value. I'm at a y value of -3, and then I'm going to move out to the left because this inequality means go to the left, okay, to the left of -1. And so that's making the first part of the piecewise function. That's that first part. Now for the middle part here, the second part, we're going between -1 and 1 for our domain for this part. And so we're using the formula 2x minus 1. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the second button to connect 2 points, and to find the 2 points I want to use, I'm just going to use the beginning and the end x values to find my points. So I'm going to plug in -1 into this function. -1 times 2 is -2, minus 1 is a -3. So I'm going to have the point -1 comma -3. So I've got this one here, going to start here at this point right here. Now I'm looking for my second one, so I'm going to plug in 1 into that formula up there, and that's going to give me 2 times 1, that's 2, minus 1 is 1. So I'm going to get the data point 1 comma 1. So that's where I'm connecting my 2 points that I'm playing with, and I got that from using the x values of that domain. And now for the third piece of this piecewise function, my y value is automatically -2. I'm starting at x1 and I'm going to the right. So I'm using all x values bigger than 1. We'll have automatically a y value of -2, excuse me. So I'm going to go here at x is 1. I'm down here at my y value of -2, and then I'm just going to move to the right to indicate that that's just going to keep on going to the right. It's always going to be -2. Okay, next step that I have to do is figure out where do my include and exclude buttons go. Now notice in this first part right here, this connection at -1 here, these two graphs connect to each other, so I don't have to do anything for that. So that one's good to go. They're connecting. We're okay. It's at the end of this middle section. The end of the middle section says x greater or less than or equal to 1. So that means I got to include this middle endpoint. I have to include it. So I'm going to grab my include button and just put it right there on that data point. Then for the third section here at the beginning of it, at x equals 1, we're excluding. So I'm going to get the open dot this time and put it right there at the beginning. So this means that because this is connected here from the first piece to the second piece, don't have to do anything. Then I cruise up here to x equals 1. I include this point right here because of that inequality, right? And then for the third piece right here, I am not including the starting points because we're not supposed to include x1 there because that's the way that inequality is working. And so there's my graph that I've made using the different types of straight lines I could use and the include and exclude buttons. And let's see if that worked out for me. And yes, I got my green box, so everything's working for me. My graph worked. That's how we make a piecewise function. Graph it in WAMAP. Thanks. Have a good day.